Hello, LPES, and happy Friday. This is our first Friday feeling for the month of May in 2023, which is exciting in so many ways. May brings springtime and hopefully some warmer weather, though we haven't had it quite yet. And May is also a really exciting time on these Friday feelings because I love this. We get to have a lot of guest star appearances. So it's not just Mrs. Heffler this month on Friday feelings. This month, we're going to get to have different people coming in and talking to us, explaining what their job is, explaining a little bit more about themselves. We'll get to know them a little bit better. And that is because May, the entire month of May, is what we call Mental Health Awareness Month. A lot of words, not quite sure what they mean, I imagine. So let's talk about it together. My older students, you might remember this from past years in terms of what mental health and what mental health awareness means. So when we think of health, a lot of times we think of our body, right? We think of if we have a cold, we think of if we're strong, if we're fit, if we're able to run really fast, if we are just feeling healthy and good, eating healthy foods. So when we think of health, a lot of times we're thinking about our physical body. But when we talk about mental health awareness, what we're talking about is how we feel up here in our brain and how we feel here in our heart. Not our actual heart, like how it's beating and whatnot and pumping blood, but talking about our heart in terms of our emotions, what we feel not just in a second or in a minute or in a moment, but what we feel day to day. If we're feeling like we're having a really tough time lately, it could be that maybe our mental health is feeling a little bit under the weather. We're not quite feeling like ourselves. Mental Health Awareness Month is a time for us to talk about all of those different feelings, those different emotions that we have, the things that we like to talk about on Friday feelings a lot, right? Talking about the ways that we get along with others, the ways we treat and talk to ourselves in our mind, those positive affirmations that we try to put in place to fight against some of the negative self-talk that happens up here sometimes. All of that has to do with our mental health. All of it has to do with us trying to be as healthy and as fit as we possibly can be up here and in here, as well as from our head to our toes with our physical body. And so one of the things that we started doing for Mental Health Awareness Month, I think we started maybe 2 years ago, is we started talking to some of the other mental health professionals in our school district. So let me explain what that means. My job as your school counselor is to help you feel calm, to help you get through tough emotions, to help you get through really tough times. Even if it's lasting for longer than a day or 2 or 3, if we're having a few weeks or months where we're just feeling really down and out of ourselves or out of sorts, my job is to try and help you get through that and to try and make it so that you can still keep coming to school and keep learning even when those uncomfortable things are happening to us. But I'm not the only person in our school district that does that. In fact, there's a whole team of us whose jobs are to help kids with their emotions, with their feelings, and to help them get through those tough times like some of us might be experiencing at different points. So what we're going to be doing this month and this week in particular is we are going to be meeting some very special people who also help students. Now, here's the awesome thing about this. Some of them are here at our school, so you're going to see, I'd say, at least 2 faces that you've probably seen in the hallways before. You might know them really well. You might not know them at all. Maybe you haven't talked to them before. But after our Friday feelings for these next few weeks, hopefully you'll feel like you know them a little bit better and you'll know their names and you'll get to say hi to them in the hallway, which always makes everyone feel better and feel more welcome at LPES. So the people that we're going to be talking to here, so we're going to be talking to Miss Viscuso, who we're talking to later today. And Miss Viscuso is our school social worker. We'll have her explain a little bit more about what that means. We're also going to be talking with Miss Palamone. Miss Palamone started at our school in September, so it feels like she's been here even longer than that. And we're happy to have her here. She is our school psychologist. We'll talk to Ms. Palamone in the coming weeks, and she'll explain that big word psychologist and what that means also. And then we have two other faces that you've probably seen before, but they're not quite at our school. One is Miss Calandrillo. She comes and visits here a lot. She's here almost once a week. So she is still kind of in our school, but she's up at the middle school a lot. So my fourth graders, you'll get to see her up there. And then the other person that we're going to be talking to is the person who has my job up at the middle school, and that is Mrs. Puri. And Mrs. Puri is so excited, especially for all of you fourth graders getting ready to go on up to fifth grade. She's excited to meet you guys. And you'll get to see her a lot in these next couple of weeks because she comes down here at the end of the year to meet our fourth graders, to get you ready for fifth grade. And you'll see her when we go up to the middle school in a few weeks for fifth grade or fourth grade orientation. I think we call it fourth grade orientation, even though you're getting oriented for fifth grade. So we have a lot of special guests this month. I am so excited because it is nice to have some other people on here where it's not just me talking at the camera this whole time. And I think it'd be really great for you guys too, because you'll get to see all of these other faces and get to know them a little bit more, and hopefully get a little bit of a better understanding about what mental health means and also what it means to work in the mental health field, like myself, like Miss Viscuso, Miss Palamone, all those other people that I talked about. So I am going to have our special guest pull one of our cards, our mindful morning cards. So we're not going to start off with those like we normally do. And I'm also going to have our special guest spin that wheel for our kindness challenge at the end. So why don't we kick things off and get started with a very special visit from Miss Viscuso. Right, so my friends, as I said, we have a special visitor today, and I actually have a really great surprise. It's not even my surprise to have, but not only do we have Miss Viscuso here, we also have Miss Viscuso's dog, Tuxedo. This is a first time ever on Friday Feelings. We've never had a dog on Friday Feeling before. So what an exciting day. Miss Viscuso, thanks for being on Friday Feeling today and bringing Tuxedo along.
You're welcome.
I know Tuxedo's a really big hit with some of our students here at LPES, especially our preschoolers, right?
He is.
Yeah, he's such a cute dog. So this is a really special time. We thought that we'd make this Friday Feeling a little bit more interesting even than usual with Tuxedo here, who's going to be kind of moving around a little bit. So Miss V, Miss Viscuso, Miss V, we kind of call you both, right? Mm-hmm. So Miss Viscuso, can you tell us a little bit about how you work with students at our school and like what your role is?
So I'm the school social worker, which is kind of similar to Mrs. Heffler's position, where I work with the students. I do counseling where we talk about our feelings, what's bothering us, how to work through it, identifying coping skills. But you'll also see me walking around. I go into classrooms. I see how students I work with are doing. I see how students I don't work with are doing. I just like to build relationships with the students in the school because without them, my job doesn't really matter. I need you guys.
It's true. We all need the students to have our work, right? Miss Viscuso, what made you want to become a social worker?
Well, I actually went to school for psychology because I wanted to be a therapist. So working with kids or anyone with mental health needs, might be depression or anxiety. Those might be things you guys have heard of. They might be things we even struggle with. When I was in school for psychology, someone told me about social work, and it was broader, so there was more things that you could do with it, including school social worker. So that brought me to working with children, which I love to do.
Mm-hmm. That's very apparent. Working with you, it's super clear that you love working with kids. And dogs also. Such a friendly puppy. Oh my gosh.
He's very friendly. He's a happy guy.
What do you like best about working with kids?
Kids say the funniest things.
Mm-hmm.
Their view of the world is just so fun and innocent.
Yeah.
Just talking to a kid will brighten your day.
It's true. You guys are super entertaining. You come up with really great comments and jokes, and just, you really know how to brighten people's days too, I'd say. All right. Do you have... I can't with Tuxedo. This might be the best Friday Feeling we've ever done. Do you have any advice for students who might be having a tough time in school?
To talk about it. That's what we're here for. If you have homework and you don't tell me about the homework, I can't help you with it. Same thing if you have a problem. That's what our jobs are here, to help you guys problem solve, to work through things that might be bothering you, but also to help you understand that there are people there for you, maybe other than your parents or your teachers.
Yeah, absolutely. how do you take care of yourself so that you can be the best social worker possible for our students?
Well, I play softball on the weekends to
Oh,
keep
I didn't
myself
know
active.
that. That's
I
great.
do.
That's cool.
I take care of this dog. We go to the dog park. We go for walks. He is very playful. As you can see, he's very adventurous.
And seems super, like, happy, too.
He
Just
is
like,
a very happy dog.
Yeah.
And I visit my family.
Oh, nice.
You know, Italian families.
There you go. That's great. So a lot of self-care, which is so important for all of us, whether you're in kindergarten or you are a grown-up, doing things that make us feel good and happy and spending time with people or things like Tuxedo that we love. Huge things. All right. Last question for you. I probably know the answer at this exact moment in time, but the last question is, what is your favorite thing or object in your office?
Besides Tuxedo?
Yeah, right now I think it's Tuxedo, her dog, who is being wrangled by Mrs. Kennelly. Thanks, Mrs. Kennelly. But yeah, where'd Tuxedo go? Come here, Tux. Come here. All right, so besides Tuxedo, what's your favorite thing in your office?
The student artwork, which is up here.
Oh, yeah. Here, I'll
and
flip
that's
that
not
up a
all
little
of
bit.
it. I have a folder with every picture a child has drawn me.
Nice.
And I like to switch them out.
Yeah.
So everyone's picture makes it on the wall at some point.
That's a great answer. I love that. Well, Miss V, I have just a few more things for us to do because this is really special. Miss Viscuso actually bought these for me earlier this year. It was like a little surprise gift, and I thought this is a perfect way to kick off our Friday feeling. So I forgot to do it at the start of our interview. I was too excited by Tuxedo. But I'm really excited to have you pick one of our Mindful Morning cards. So last week, we had Gianna, Mrs. Mazaka's little daughter, recite 5 positive affirmations. So that was last week's card. And let's see if Miss V and Tuxedo can pick a new card for us today. I wish Tuxedo could pick one, but it might get a little too slobbery. Let's see.
This one says meditate for 5 minutes.
Oh, I like that. That's a nice one. So meditating for 5 minutes, you can look at YouTube, you can look at different apps, you can look at some past Friday feelings where we've done some meditating or mindful moments. But meditating for 5 minutes, especially my kids who are taking tests next week, like my 3rd and 4th graders, starting on Friday, we have state testing. Meditating that morning just to get yourself calm and relaxed is a great way to feel better. All right, last thing we need to do. This is an honor. This one is an exciting one.
Yes, it is. I've never done this before.
It is time for us to spin our kindness challenge wheel. Let's see what we land on this week. Go ahead, Miss V.
Oh, Tuxedo's interested.
Tuxedo is like, what is that sound?
Write a thank you note.
Ooh, I like it. Write a thank you note. Gonna use some of our writing skills we've been working on this year. Maybe writing a surprise thank you note to someone for something that they do. This week is Teacher Appreciation Week. That could be a good thank you note for some of your teachers. I think next week we also have Nurse Appreciation Week, so Mrs. Safeli. And at the end of the month we have School Bus Driver Appreciation Day. So lots of people you could write thank you notes to in our school building, and lots of people outside that you could write them to also. Well, I gotta say, Miss V, Tuxedo, it has been an absolute pleasure having you both on Friday Feelings. I think Tuxedo is just about ready to go out. Also, before we go, you just need to know, hey, Tuxedo, I want them to see his awesome outfit because Tuxedo is actually wearing a tuxedo. And Miss V, oh, thanks, Mrs. Kennelly. Here, we got another treat. Oh, look.
Can you see it? He has his visitor pass on.
He has a visitor badge on, and he has his little tuxedo bandana, which is adorable. So here you go, Tuxedo. All right, Tuxedo, you know what we say at the end of our Friday Feelings? We say, stay kind, LPES.